morning, and thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the 80th Rotary Carol Festival. My name is Heather Anderson, and I'm very pleased to host the Rotary Clubs of Regina's Festival of Music, which has been running annually for the past 80 years. Now, this year's festival, as you can see, looks a little bit different. For the past 79 years, the event has been held at the Knox Metropolitan United Church for a live event. This year, however, that's not possible. But thanks to tremendous support from Access Communications, the Rotary Clubs of Regina is pleased to present a festival that looks back on choir performances from previous years, as well as some exciting virtual performances by some very special guests. Now, this is a challenging year for a number of reasons, and more than ever, our charity partners need support. Donations made to the Carol Festival this year will be supporting the Salvation Army, along with the Rotary Community Fund, which supports worthwhile programming in our community. We have socially distant Rotarians standing by in studio tonight, ready to answer the phone and take your donations via Visa or MasterCard. The phone number is 306-559-6606. You can also donate online at reginarotary.org. Now, costs of producing the festival are covered by sponsorships, so every dollar raised tonight during the Carol Festival will be going to our charity partners. Along with some very nice choir performances from over the years, tonight we will have a very special presentation by Regina performer Jeffrey Straker. But before we start with the music, we want to share a little bit about the history of this festival, and it was recorded by some very accomplished Rotarians.
Years ago, we were in times similar to what we're facing now, in terms of it was the dark days of World War II, 1941. At that time, the outcome of the war was still largely in question. Many Saskatchewan, many Regina young people had gone off to fight in the war. Reverend Len Outerbridge, who at that point was at Knox Metropolitan United Church, hit upon the idea of having a carol festival that would serve two purposes. One, it would help to lift the spirits of the community by profiling a lot of the wonderful choral music from children's choirs in the city, but it was also an opportunity to raise funds for families and fellow citizens who were in graver need than other citizens in the community at that time.
I remember back when I was a lad in grade 2 in 1944, I sang in the Rotary Carol Festival. It was like out of this world. I mean, you can imagine you're about this high and you're up on this stage and your teachers practiced with you and got you, had the group singing. And it was 2 songs that we sang and had you singing and practicing at least a month beforehand. And when the big time come, you're down at the church in the basement there getting ready to go up to the stage.
It really is an opportunity for those choirs to share their gift of music with people. And there are so many people out there that just, look forward to being inspired by hearing the music. People get to share the gift of music. People get to enjoy that gift of music. And then, once again, charities benefit from everything that happens.
The whole church is used for the Carol Festival. We use the sanctuary for the actual performances. The lower level is where the choirs assemble.
There's about 40 volunteers each evening, so that's quite an undertaking. But being the choir marshal, you have all of the choir groups, of course, assemble in the basement. That's the time when you really enjoy observing the younger kids there. They're so excited, ready to perform, many for the first time.
When I became president and chief executive officer of Cable Regina, which is now Access Communications. And all of a sudden I got to thinking one year, it just kind of hit me in the head while I was working at the festival. Why don't we put this on television? We have a community channel.
Actually, the Rotary Club formed a partnership with Cable Regina some 40 years ago. It's virtually impossible to assess the value of this connection.
I think one of the benefits from the Carol Festival is reminding us that there are needy families out there, especially at Christmas time.
The Rotary motto is service above self, and Reverend Outerbridge lived that every day of his life. And he would not want, I'm sure, the focus to be on him as an individual, but rather he would be so inspired.
Christmas was celebrated in dark times throughout the ages, and especially even over the last 80 years. There have been many times where there have been not so happy times, but that Christmas spirit is still alive and well, and having a tradition like sharing the carols of Christmas, really it is that bright light and reminding them that it is a very special time of year.
I think it's really important that we raise as much money we can to assist other people. And this year it's harder for everybody to get around, as we all know, with the COVID situation. Even this year, it's likely more important than it has been.
As you can see, a very special tradition that we're continuing on tonight. The first Rotary Carol Festival took place back in 1941, in the darkest days of World War II. To commemorate the time of the first Carol Festival, we have a very special performance by a duet called Winsome Kind. They're actually going to sing an old carol that was first recorded around the time of the first Rotary Festival. There's no mistaking the chemistry that you can see and hear when Saskatchewan's husband and wife duo Winsome Kind performs. Infused with personal stories and luxurious harmonies, their songs they craft reflect their continuous creative journey. Their self-titled debut album garnered critical acclaim, and their second album, We Call It Home, is a compelling collection of feel-good songs and heartfelt messages. That reflects their passion and their urge for connection in these tumultuous times. Winsome Kind released a new single and lyric video for Earth Day in 2019. It was entitled Contemplation, What Have We Done? And they have donated the proceeds to climate action initiatives. Now, they recently moved to Saskatchewan from Vancouver to embark on a prairie adventure, and we are so pleased to have Winsome Kind volunteer to be part of the 80th Carol Festival. They've now recorded this piece from the home of the Carol Festival, which of course is Knox Metropolitan United Church. So please enjoy Winsome Kind's version of White Christmas.
Glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your day be wild. Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. Christmas with every
Wasn't that beautiful? Sure gets you in the Christmas spirit. If you'd like to hear more of Winsome Kind, please check out their website at winsomekind.com. Now, as you can see, we have some Rotarians standing by tonight. They're there to take your pledges on the Rotary charity line at 559-6606 or online at reginarotary.org. It's quiet over there right now, so we'd love to see those phones ringing if you're feeling generous and feeling a bit more in the Christmas spirit, which is what we're here to do tonight. But as the tradition continues here for the very special festival that we're taking part in this evening, the last 79 years, the very first choir in our festival is, as always, the Rotary Club. Now, they love to sing, and they do it because they are determined to keep the tradition alive. Rotarians are a special part of this organization, and we hope you will enjoy their 2019 performance. So here is the Rotary Clubs of Regina Choir. Beautiful, and that was the Rotary Clubs of Regina Choir from a 2019 performance. Now our next performance is a look way back to 2007. Now it's 57 cute young people in the kinder choir program from Harlock School. From time to time, you will see the children glancing up at something, and that's because there was a video screen of the TV broadcast at the time, and they were just so excited to see themselves on TV. Now, this piece is a nice piece that's sung in French. These young people would now be about 20 years old, so if you're one of those young people, maybe watching tonight, consider donating. Once again, the phone number to call is 306-559-6606. You can also donate online at reginarotary.org to make a donation. Support the wonderful charities that we're here in celebration of this evening. For now, let's turn it over to another great musical performance. Once again, that was from 2007. Great to see that. The Carol Festival is an exciting time for lots of young performers. And up next, we have another performance, this time from McNeil School. There are 40 members in this choir, and there is a very nice soloist. That is the first piece in which they sing Silent Night in English, German, French, and American Sign Language. So watch for the handbells in the second piece as well. Once again, make sure you call our charity line 306-559-6606 tonight. That is the number to call as we continue to raise money for this charity. Now, please, let's turn it over to we'll turn it over to McNeil School Choir from back in 2015.
Heilige Nacht,
Love the bells, and people every year at this festival get creative with their musical abilities, and we're so happy to show them off tonight. We want to thank some of those who have already donated this evening, including Larry and Linda Weens, Loretta Stevens, Ed Giebert, and the Caring Place, who has donated $100 to tonight's cause. Once again, we want you to phone the 306-559-6606. That's the number to call tonight. We have Rotarians standing by, ready to take your donation as we help charities, including the Salvation Army and the Rotary's charity as well, which supports many worthwhile community events and charities here in our community. Now on to our next performance. For many years, the Carol Festival has benefited from a visit from the RCMP. Some RCMP members in training at the RCMP depot sing in a choir. Now this performance is way back from 2006. Now some of the choir members that you'll see are in the RCMP's iconic red serge, while others are still in their training uniforms. So let's challenge all RCMP members who are watching tonight to donate, or even if you're a retired member, perhaps you're also willing to support this wonderful cause. The phone number is 306-559-6606.
As the shepherds who came on that first Christmas night, we must follow the star, we must walk in its light, till we come to the child who is sent from above, to bring us God's blessings of peace and of love. Christmas surrounds us once more. We come to behold Him asleep in the day. We kneel and adore Him and humbly we pray. We love You, Lord Jesus. We ask You to stay close by us, to guide us through each passing day. Bless all of God's children and help us be true. Be near us at Christmas and all the year through. Amen. Christmas night, the angels were singing of peace and goodwill. They told of a Savior, our promise fulfilled. In excelsis Deo, in excelsis Deo, Gloria, Gloria Deo. Shepherds on hillsides below, they were tending their sheep in the cold winter air, when the song of the angels rang out everywhere. Noel, 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 come and rejoice with the news that we tell.
We want to thank all of those who have already donated this evening online at reginarotary.org and those who have called in. The phone number is 306-559-6606. It's quiet right now, but we're hoping to get those phones ringing throughout the evening as we continue to support this organization and this festival that has been going on for the past 79 years. This is a special occasion, of course. It's the 80th anniversary of this festival that means so much to our community and our city. Now, it is a tradition at the Rotary Carol Festival to have some special people help us with an appeal to the community. This year, our appealers have been very kind to pre-record their messages for us to play each evening. Tonight, we are very pleased to hear from Mayor Sandra Masters. We know that Mayor Masters has been very busy finding her way in her new role as Mayor of the City of Regina, having been elected less than a month ago. We are so pleased that she has taken the time to share with us a message for the Rotary Carol Festival. So here is newly elected Mayor Masters.
2020 has been a challenging year, not just for us, but for the entire globe. Now, more than ever, our less fortunate citizens need our help. 80 years ago, 2020 is the 80th anniversary. 80 years ago, the Rotary Carol Festival held at the Knox Metropolitan Church has been going on to bring joy during the holiday season. Its original intent was to uplift our citizens during a time of war. I can't think of a better reason to be tuning in right now than to be uplifted. Not just that, we've been isolated due to the pandemic from our friends and family. By participating virtually, by watching through Access Communication, we're able to come together and all have a shared experience with our extraordinary carolers and voices from the city of Regina. I want to thank the Rotary Club for their service to our community. For decades, their membership has been serving our citizens for no other reason than to make Regina a better place. This Carol Festival kicks off our holiday season. And its intention to bring joy and entertainment should be a comfort to us all. The charity of choice is Salvation Army, and the goal is $10,000. Salvation Army has also been an organization which has been serving our community for decades. I can't think of a better thing to be doing right now, and if it's possible for you to donate, to put food on the tables of our less fortunate citizens. Families shouldn't be hungry in Regina. Children should not be hungry in the city of Regina, not in 2020. Please help our friends, our families, and our neighbors this holiday season by giving. The 80th year of the Rotary Carol Festival at Knox Metropolitan Church is something we should all be proud of. And I encourage you, if it's possible, to donate. Thank you.
There's a lot of things that the Salvation Army does in the community, but every single one of them, without exception, is about us trying to live out our core values in tangible ways, providing real help to real people who really need it now. Haven of Hope is the Salvation Army church worshiping community. However, we also provide community and family services to families and individuals in Regina who find themselves in need. We have the Waterston Center and Waterston House, which is the men's shelter. They provide emergency shelter, they provide men's sheltering services. They also have supportive residential housing for men who just need a little more support so that they can live on their own. Kate's Place is a residential facility for women who are attending the drug treatment court, and it provides one-year residential services with an aim towards helping people get reestablished in the community and reunited with their families. Gemma House deals with younger girls who are facing multiple barriers and really aims at helping them be reunited with their families. Grace Haven deals with older girls and focuses on helping them transition to independent living. The William Booth Special Care Home is a seniors facility that has 83 residents and 90 daycare adult day program spaces available. They also run the Wascana Grace Hospice for end-of-life care. One of my staff was telling me a story about a conversation they had with somebody who received a Christmas hamper last year. And she called us back in January to not just say thank you, but to say, I was finally, after years and years of having to go someplace else for Christmas dinner, I was able to invite my son over for Christmas dinner. So thank you. And so something as simple as providing someone with a Christmas hamper restored dignity in a way that is so hard to even comprehend.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, Rotarians sponsor the Carol Festival program, and they cover the expenses associated with the festival. Our executive broadcast sponsor is Access Communications Cooperative Limited, which operates Access Now TV, and we thank them for their in-kind donation of all of the production costs, as well as the Access phone lines tonight. The generosity of Access and these Rotarians ensure every dollar that is raised this evening will go directly to our partner charities. Please remember, we are supporting the Salvation Army tonight and the Regina Rotary Community Fund, and every dollar raised during the festival will be going to those charities. This performance that we're about to show you is from last year, and it stole the hearts of many people in the crowd. It's 10 little girls from the North Central Family Center and the choir that operates there. It was their very first performance at the Carol Festival, and this was a must-repeat performance. We hope everyone at the North Central Family Center is watching tonight.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose.
Another great performance. That one was held last year at the Carol Festival. All right, we did get some donations in on our phone lines. We want to thank those who donated this evening, including Ashley Gregory, Paul Leach, James Button, and Pat Richards. Just a reminder, we're supporting the Salvation Army this evening, as well as the Regina Rotary Community Fund. Every dollar raised during tonight's event will be going directly to support those charities. High school choirs, they are the backbone of the Carol Festival every year, and over the years we have gotten to know many of the dedicated school teachers who put in hour after hour to perfect the performances before they go ahead of the audiences at this very special festival every year. This year, or what we're about to show you, is the Sheldon Williams High School combined choir performance that was held last year. It is 70 members and the director is Sarah Keefe. Now we want to give a shout out and a thank you to Sarah, who has brought many choirs to the Carol Festival over the years, as well as performing in a number of the choirs herself. So this is for all the Sheldon Williams alumni out there. We need your support tonight. Please consider phoning 306-559-6606 or go online to make a donation at reginarotary.org. Tax receipts will be issued for any donation over $25. For now, we'll turn it over to the music.
Sweet their song.
What you're looking at here is a hamper. It's one of the things that the Salvation Army puts together to support families in need each and every year. Now, a reminder, tonight's event is supporting the Salvation Army and the Regina Rotary Community Fund. Every dollar raised tonight will be going to support those charities throughout the next couple weeks and throughout the next year. We are asking you tonight to support these, as many families are in need, and more than ever we could use the community support coming together to support this wonderful cause. The phone number is 306-559-6606. You can also go online to reginarotary.org. Now, we just heard from a school choir, but church choirs also play a very significant role year after year in the Carol Festival. While the Carol Festival celebrates the Christmas season, and much of the music is Christmas carols, Rotary is a non-denominational organization which is open to all faiths. The Rotary Club welcomes choirs that sing songs celebrating their own faith. So if you have a singing group that you'd like to perform in future years, you can call 306-559-6606 and give your contact information, and someone will be in touch with you. Our next performance is from the Grace Mennonite Church. Now, they have performed many times at the Carol Festival over the years, and this selection is from back in 2008. Rotarians are standing by, ready to take your call. We want to thank some of those who have already called in this evening to donate, including Shirley Davey, Harold Litzenberger, and Gerald Wozniak. We thank you so much for your support. But we want to take a few minutes to recognize the bell ringers at Knox Metropolitan United Church. What a neat job they have. These dedicated professionals climb the tower each night of the Carol Festival, and they ring those bells so that all of downtown and all of Regina can hear. Now, specifically, we want to recognize Wayne Tunison. He is the master bell ringer at the Knox Metropolitan Church and has a very unique story.
I was very intrigued with the bells, and somewhere around age 10, 11, maybe 12, I don't know, when you're a kid you don't write it down on the calendar. I started coming and pulling a few ropes, and probably by 1965 for sure, might have been 64, I was a full-fledged apprentice. But what I do know is I graduated in September 1967 because somebody gave me a little certificate that now you're a bell ringer. I always had an attraction to the sound of the bell. The ropes that are up there are arranged in what I would call the ringing rack style. In other words, they're all in a line and you can reach them all when you're playing. That is for the individual to play. And when I started my apprenticeship, that's the way the ropes of Knox Metropolitan were configured. But in 1967, the church had a big rejuvenation. The new organ started coming in. And one of the things they did was reconfigure the tower into the community style. So now there's room for one person to stand behind each of the ropes. And that allows for the playing to be done as a community. And by 1968, I would say that the players for the Carol Festival were not one person coming playing some carols, but it was a community. There might have only been 4 or 5 because we didn't have the numbers for one person, one rope. But at that point, it now became a spiritual thing of joining together. And I think that was what the original 1940 thing was, where the choirs would come and the soldiers would be in the audience, and it was a whole idea of letting the spirit of Christmas descend upon the community. And a choir is a bunch of people coming to sing the praises together. The audience is a bunch of people to hear those praises. Now it was no longer just the solo bell ringer, but it was a community coming together and playing Silent Night, "O Come All Ye Faithful." And whether we're trying to channel higher powers, talking joy or hope to the community, or whether we're simply supporting some union rally in the park, or we're grieving over the death of some Islamic monarch who has just died, we treat them all equally.
Such a neat story. Well, we have a very special treat for you now. We're going to hear from Jeffrey Straker. Jeffrey Straker, he tours across Canada, Europe, and Latin America each and every year. He's recorded for CBC Radio's Canada Live. He's had music videos in the top 10 in Canada and has had his music used in TVs, movies, and theatrical productions. His tour stops range from intimate house concerts to club and theater shows and include recent sold-out performances with the Symphony Orchestra. His 2017 album, Titled Dirt Road Confessional, debuted at number 5 on the iTunes Canada singer-songwriter charts and received airplay on CBC radio right across the country. His recent debut at Canada's National Arts Centre in Ottawa was followed by performances across the Netherlands. Jeffrey won a Western Canadian Music Award in 2019, and here's something even more exciting: he'll be releasing a new album in 2021. Now, Jeffrey's A Very Prairie Christmas tour is set to be held on January 14th and 15th at the May Wilson Theatre in Moose Jaw, and on January 8th and 9th at the Connexus Arts Centre here in Regina. We really appreciate Jeffrey's donation of his time and his talent to this year's festival.
Is burning low upon my tabletop. The snow is softly falling. The air is still in the silence of my room. I hear your voice softly calling. If I could only have you near to breathe a sigh or two, I would be happy just to hold hands I love upon this winter's night with you. The smoke is rising in the shadows overhead. My glasses are almost empty. I read again between the lines upon each page the words of love you sent me. And if I could know within my heart you were lonely too, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love upon this winter's night with you. The fire is dying now, my lamp is growing dim. The shades of night are lifting. The morning light steals across my window pane, where webs of snow are drifting. And if I could only have you near to breathe a sigh or two, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love upon this winter's night with you. Oh, to be once again with you. got the lights put up, hanging on the house. Use the red and blue you used to like 'em best. I found the garland where you packed it away in boxes. I wandered up the stairs like you always did. We used to listen to all those old carols. Now it's just the slow ones draw me in. Sitting with the songbooks at the piano. Memories taking my mind wandering. I'll be missing you this Christmas. It won't be the same without you here. I'll be singing Silent Night, but your voice won't be there with mine. I'll be missing you this Christmas. Family gathered round the table, would laugh and raise a glass and make merry. The proud mama smile of yours shining across your face lit you up like the angel on the tree. And we'd sing all those great old carols, but now it's just the slow ones draw me in. Sitting with the songbooks at the piano. Memories taking my mind wandering. And I'll be missing you this Christmas. It won't be the same without you here. I'll be singing Silent Night, but your voice won't be there with mine. I'll be missing you this Christmas. And when we're opening the presents on that morning, seeing the kid in everyone, there'll be one gift left unopened, there for you, with love from all of us. And I'll be missing you this Christmas. It won't be the same without you here. I'll be singing Silent Night, but your voice won't be there with mine. I'll be missing you this Christmas. I'll be missing you this Christmas.
Absolutely fantastic. Thanks so much to Jeffrey for performing that for us this evening. You can find out more information on his upcoming shows at jeffreystraker.com. And here are our wonderful call takers tonight. They're ready to take your call. They're standing by at the phone lines. The phone number is 306-559-6606. Of course, we're supporting the Salvation Army and other worthwhile causes this evening. Your donation will go a long way in helping those in need in our community. You can also donate online at reginarotary.org. We do want to thank some of those who have already donated tonight, including Anne-Marie Francis, Joan Balico, Joyce and Alan Ingle, Isabel Pollock, Stacy Martin, Dave and Jean Fraser, and Bragg Cleaners, who have donated again this year to this fundraiser. Well, our next performance is a group that performs at the Carol Festival each year. This is from a 2014 performance of the elementary Ukrainian program from Miller High School. And they help preserve their Ukrainian culture, and they perform in their Ukrainian language and wear traditional clothing. Now, I know there must be many graduates of this program, and I challenge each of you who are watching tonight to make a donation to the Rotary Carol Festival. Once again, the phone number is 306-559-6606. You can also donate online at reginarotary.org. For now, we'll turn it over to another great performance. And what a great kickoff to Christmas this is this evening. Please remember we're supporting the Salvation Army and the Regina Rotary Community Fund, and every dollar raised during the festival will be going to those charities. I want to thank a few of the people who have donated tonight, including Rick and Irene Temple, Eleanor Gustalin, and Phyllis Lang. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Rotarians sponsor the Carol Festival program, and they cover the expenses associated with the festival. Our executive broadcast sponsor is Access Communications Cooperative Limited, which operates Access Now TV, and we thank them for their in-kind donation of all of the production costs as well as the Access phone lines. The generosity of Access and those Rotarians ensures that every dollar raised tonight throughout the program will be going directly to our partner charities, the Salvation Army and the Regina Rotary Community Fund. Our next performance is from 2011. This is Dr. Martin Labolis Jr., Senior, and Concert Choir. Now, this enthusiastic group incorporated all sorts of things: a string section, a flute solo, guitars, and even jigging in the second piece. Now, this evening is starting to near the end, so we urge you, please pick up your phone and donate tonight. It's a great year to support those in your community as we all work to feel connected. You can also donate online at reginarotary.org or call 306-559-6606. For now, we'll turn it over to another performance.
With
Yellow Circle Project is serving the position of Executive Director, and my responsibilities include all the day-to-day operations of all of our programs and services, including our 2 childcare centers. Our partnership with the Rotary Club of Regina is a fairly new partnership, and we're really excited about it. This year they provided us support and funding for an important preschool program called Cultural Connections for Kids. The Rotary contributions for us were very important because our Cultural Connections for Kids program provides a preschool program for children to ensure that they are going to enjoy success in school and in life in general. So the Rotary Club, we applied to them and they provided us the resources that we needed to keep the program going. Funding is very, very tight, and we count on support of service organizations and other funders to help us do the programming that we need to do in the community to ensure that every child has a chance. I just invite people to support the Rotary Club so they can continue to do their good work in our community. At this time of the year, there's a lot of asks, but this is an important cause to support. And the Rotary Club are volunteers. They're people that are in our community, live in our community, work in our community, and they are the people that actually put in the extra time to ensure that organizations like ours and the work that we do in the community is supported throughout the year. So I would just encourage anyone to dig deep and support the Rotary Club.
Well, thank you so much for everybody who has generously donated this evening. We're hoping to get to $3,000. We're getting closer, but we need your support. 306-559-6606. Our Rotarians are standing by, ready to take your calls. We do want to thank Robert Hunter, Peter and Paula Ritchie, Carol Bryant, Joe and Bonnie Gowdy, Desmond and Gail Silver, Orst and Gwen Wernicke, and Helena Denchuk, who have all donated generously this evening. Thank you so much for your donations. They will be going to support some wonderful organizations, including the Salvation Army and as well the Rotarian Charity Fund. All right, so our last group of the evening, they have been strong supporters of the Carol Festival for many years. Once again, tonight is a special celebration. We're in the 80th year of this festival. Things might look a little bit different, but there's no better time to give. Now, these 12 performers who dress up in period costumes, and they perform at venues around Regina every Christmas, including at Government House. They are the Dickens Yuletide Singers, and this is their performance from 2014.
With
Now, if that doesn't get you in the Christmas spirit, I don't know what does. Now, once again, we are supporting the Salvation Army tonight and the Regina Rotary Community Fund, two amazing organizations that really could use your support. Thank you to everyone who has donated so far this evening. We've raised more than $3,000. We'd love to see that number continue to climb, so please continue to donate. We want to thank Helena Demchuk, and she's actually challenging other teachers watching this evening to offer their donations as well. Therese Durand and Robert Griffith, thank you for your calls this night, this evening, and for your generous donations. Well, the Carol Festival, it has many traditions over the years, but one is that we close each evening of the festival by singing Silent Night. Now, we always ask the audience to join in, but sadly we have no audience this year, so I invite each of you to sing at home and join us in the Dickens Yuletide Singers as they lead us in Silent Night tonight, along with the audience from back in 2014. By the way, once again, it's not too late to make that donation to the Carol Festival. You can do so throughout the evening until our phones close at the end of this program. 306-559-6606, so just a few more moments to get your donations in. But you can also always head online at reginarotary.org to make your donation. On behalf of the Rotary Clubs of Regina, I would like to thank our executive broadcast sponsor, Access Communications Cooperative Limited, and Access Now TV for helping us to bring you the 80th edition of the Rotary Carol Festival. It's been my pleasure to look back at all of those different performances from over the years. And of course, it was so nice to hear from Winsome Kind and Jeffrey Straker, who put on an amazing performance this evening. We thank them so much for their time and their contribution to this program. Now, this is the first of just 4 programs. We're back tomorrow at 7 o'clock, as well as on Wednesday and on Thursday. So there's still time to donate. Thank you for joining us this evening and helping the Rotary Clubs of Regina support our community this Christmas. I'm Heather Anderson. Merry Christmas and good night.